Okay, I'm ready. Welcome everyone. So come on in. You guys will grab a laptop and I want you to keep it closed for now. So you see here, virtual book club. Before we really dig into that, I want to just acknowledge the fact that I know you've been working on your MLK biography projects with Mr. Hartley. I just made that up. And so you have in your hand, right, a list of qualities that you came up with in class, and that is what I've asked you to bring. So thumbs up if we all have that. We're good? Okay, great. So we're going to come back to that in just a second. First, I want to talk a bit about our essential question. Our essential question for today is, how can we share and participate ethically in a digital world? Now, this all ties in. I know you're thinking, what does this have to do with MLK and the biography project? Well, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff online with this project. So it ties in, and this is really, really important. And why this is important is because you are citizens of the 21st century. You will never, for the rest of your life, escape technology. You need to learn how to behave, how to act, how to speak. Just like you will learn social skills in person, it's the same for online. It's important. Your professional life, your personal life. So we're going to talk a little bit about that because I know you've been online before, but now we're in school and we have a few different roles at school. So our agenda, we are going right now, we're talking about our essential question, our objectives. Who cares, right? Who cares? Well, it's important, so you should care. That's what we're doing. We're talking about why it's important. Our objectives, by the end of today, you guys are going to be able to list traits of ethical digital citizens. You are going to pick a biography book, at least 3 titles to have in mind for this project, and you'll pick one eventually then. And you're also going to participate and share on Kid Blog. That's where your virtual book club is going to take place. So we're going to do a little activity after this just to kind of get the juices flowing. Then we're going to have a little presentation about digital citizenship, because I've been throwing around that word, ethical, digital. We're going to talk about it more. What would you do? It's a fun little game, if you are familiar with the show at all on ABC. Yeah. Kid Blog setup, so we're going to get into the project. We're going to do a little post just to make sure we're good, and then we're going to go off and select our books. We're going to complete a little exit ticket back on Kid Blog. So let's do that. Now, our first activity. I want you guys to close your eyes. Get comfortable, safe space, right? And I want you to imagine that you guys are outside. You have recess, just hanging out with your friends, and they're talking about this new social media site. You haven't heard about it, so you kind of lean in a little closer. You want to hear what's going on, because they're sharing pictures with each other, they're talking to each other. It sounds like a blast. So you go home that day, you race home, you type in that URL, and you enter your information. And as you're entering your information, you see at the bottom of the screen a little box, and it says, I accept the terms and conditions. You click the box, right? And you click OK, and now you're in. You just agreed to something. Go open your eyes. Did you click the box? Did you read what you agreed to? Or did you click the box? Just clicked it. Okay, here's what you agreed to. So I'm going to give each group a printout of these terms and conditions for popular social media sites. Now what I want you to do with the highlighters that I've given you is to go through, and I want you to highlight verbs, phrases, words, anything that sticks out to you that might represent how a digital citizen should act, should not act, anything that really sticks out to you. There's a lot of text here. I don't want you to worry about reading all of it. I just want you to have a little look, and then we're going to kind of discuss what you find. So you're going to do this with your group right now. So you do that. And then since we're not actually going to do it, what I would have them do is highlight it, and then we would kind of come back and just really share. This was a group activity, and then we would share as a large group what they highlighted and just some of the qualities and phrases. And then what I would say is that those qualities might be similar to, and those verbs kind of just like what you did, Erin, on the list that they had brought to class. And then, so Great job, everyone. I'm glad we kind of set the tone here. So that is what we're looking at. Those terms and conditions are something that you're kind of clicking through all the time when you're signing up for these things. Kind of like when you guys at the beginning of the school year signed this piece of paper. Who read it? It's called the AUP. We signed a lot of papers. Did anyone read this? Does anyone remember acceptable use policy? Ring any bells at all? Kind of. So just in case it doesn't, because I understand that not everyone has read this, but it's important, like I said, because it has to do with your behavior online. An acceptable use policy is a set of rules applied by the owner, creator, or administrator of a network, website, or service, so our school, our district really, that restricts the ways in which the network, website, or system may be used and sets guidelines as to how it should be used. So we're going to go quickly and have a look at our school district. I like to think about this as our own terms and conditions for our school. So it's just like the box you clicked when you signed your name on this. So some points I've highlighted here. This is access to the school computer network and to internet and email services is a privilege and not a right. I like that line. It's a privilege. You guys are in a school district that allows you to have a lot of technology, and we really want you to use it. It's a positive thing, it's a good thing, but it is a privilege. So we want you to respect that and respect the rules that have been laid out by the school district. So responsible manner consistent with the purpose of providing these services, that is the intent of the policy. We just want you to behave responsibly, just like you would in school or in a classroom. The internet's potential is without boundaries. What does that mean?
Goes on forever?
Goes on forever. So when I read that, I agree. It is this kind of infinite, it just, without boundaries. When you post something, it is out there. I don't care if you think it's deleted on Snapchat, it's not. People can take screenshots, it is out there. And we've talked a bit about this before, but it's something very important to keep in mind. Now, these are numbered rules for you. Repeating again, privilege, not a right. So things we want to stay away from: revealing personal information, revealing passwords, using profane, vulgar, threatening, defamatory, abusive, discriminatory, harassing, or other objectionable or criminal language. I like that one because I think that words sometimes are the most hurtful thing, and online it's really easy to type something that you might not ever say in person, and that's a lot of power. And I want you guys to keep in mind that your words matter and they affect people. So especially with this book project, you guys are going to be sharing, talking with each other. So you're kind of able to say what you want, but that's what you have to keep in mind, is that it matters. So violating copyright laws, like we've talked about before, sending chain letters. You can see here kind of the theme we're going with. There are certain behaviors that are acceptable behaviors for online, and that's what this policy is for. So I want to kind of get into that a little bit. Back to our essential question. We have a rough idea now. How can we share and participate ethically in a digital world? Well, we reviewed the terms and conditions. We have reviewed our AUP, and they have given us some ideas, right, for how we might answer that. And I just want you to keep this in mind as we move forward here. How's everyone feeling about ethics? And all right. So I like this poster. You might see this up in school. What is good digital citizenship? Think before you post. We're going to talk about that next, but I want you to look at these. Permanence. Online permanence. Important to keep in mind. Talk with people and not about them. Just like in person. You don't talk about your friends behind your back. Communicate respectfully, kind of mirroring this. Give proper credit when using other people's work. So again, about citations, about fair use, about plagiarism. Stand up to cyberbullying. I like this because it doesn't say don't cyberbully, it says stand up. So there is also, some guilt and well, you don't want to just stand by and watch, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If you're seeing something and maybe in Google Classroom or in KidBlog that makes you feel uncomfortable or you think might hurt someone, it's important to say something, to do something, not just stand by. Follow the school's acceptable use guidelines, important. Protect your private information. That's another really good one because you are going to be prompted by a lot of websites, especially social media websites, to give personal information. Might seem harmless, like your birthday, your favorite color, for a security question, all this kinds of stuff. You don't want to give away your phone number. You don't want to give away your address. These things you know. I mean, it's not your first time interacting here, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. Think, back to think. Before you face social media, verb, enter verb, and information. Think, is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Is it kind? That's a fun little acronym for you to remember before you post something. It does not have to be all of the things. What you're saying might not always be inspiring. But if you can really, if it can be one of those, or a combination maybe, even if it's true doesn't mean you should say it either. It's just a fun thing to keep in mind, and it helps me even remember if I get into a situation where I feel like I'm going to explode, and it's easy to do it online. You need to think before I do that. So here's a little game. Do we all feel comfortable now with those concepts, with digital citizenship, with think? Okay, so I want to do a little game here. I'm going to give you each a minute with these prompts, and I want you to think about them. And then we're going to go around, and everyone's going to kind of be able to share, at least to one of them, what they would do. So Katie and Melanie have been fighting for weeks and have now brought their fight to the KidBlog forum. They are exchanging mean comments about each other and their peers. What would you do? So I would go, I don't have comments, but they would think about it, and I have 3 different prompts, and I would then have a discussion about them, and they kind of all deal with the stuff that we've been doing. So now that we feel comfortable with just kind of behavior online, back to our essential question. How can we share and participate ethically in the digital world? What's one thing that you could do or implement in this KidBlog project?
Respond to another student's post respectfully.
Respectfully. What does that mean, respectfully?
Say something that contributes to the conversation and respects their views, isn't just disagreeing without any reason, or isn't just posting something that's not nice.
Right. Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit more about the specifics here. So you're going to be using KidBlog to share information and participate ethically, right? We recognize those terms, in a virtual book club for this project. So this is going to be a throughout the whole project kind of deal. I'm going to be posting, Mr. Hartley's going to be posting, and you guys will be commenting on our posts. And then you're each going to have a turn to submit one post for your peers to comment. So it's going to be fun. You are going to be able to see live feeds of when people are commenting. Like right now, we're going to do an example post. So you've used KidBlog before. We're not going to give you a whole lesson on how to use it. If you have any questions at all, I'm not here. But I'm going to give you new login information for this forum. And it says here, our school's acceptable use policy applies, and we expect that you honor it. And I know you will, because I know that you're getting a really good understanding for what it means, what acceptable use is. So let's go to that blog forum. I actually have, I won't get this, but I have little handouts with your links and your, all that good stuff. So let's go to that page. So this is what it looks like once you guys are all logged in. Thumbs up if everyone's logged in. Are we good? Does everyone see this page on their screen? Great. So I have clicked into one of our posts. So here's Miss Shirley's class, and here's the first post. This is what we're going to do together. So this is a blog site for your virtual biography project. You will be commenting on posts throughout the project and even have a chance to start the post. So your first comment assignment, so everyone, you ready? List 2 of the qualities from the list you created in English class. Think of one more quality that is reflective of Martin Luther King Jr. and read your classmates' comments to help inspire your keyword searching. So you've all done that. I watched that live. Now, raise your hand if everyone's done that. Everyone? We're good? Okay. So the next step is you are going to go onto the catalog, which you have done many times, and you are going to use and I want you to keep this tab open, keep the book club tab open. And I want you to use those keywords and conduct a keyword search to try to find 3 book titles. You don't have to pick one today, but I want you to find 3 today that you can at least check out or have a look at here. So what you're going to do then, once you have your 3 book titles, is you're going to complete your exit ticket, which is the second post I have here. It'll be our own little version of 3, 2, 1. So the 3 book titles you're considering, I want you to write that. I want you to write 2 ethical online behaviors that you personally will exhibit throughout this project. I want you to think about the traits of Martin Luther King Jr. and how you can implement the same sort of leadership or responsibility with your online activity. It's not a coincidence that we have picked this lesson to really talk about these traits because it's important. And one suggestion for a future blog post topic, seeing as you will be eventually coming up with a blog post topic of your own. And then I would give them 20 minutes of independent work time, and at the end we would have a summary where we would come back to the essential question, and I just want to, and I would have them actually share, if they could share their blog post, so they could talk about the personal, the 2 things that they had said that they would like exhibit during this project, and just to not hear the same, repeated verbs for how they participate. I want to make it more personal. So, and then we would wrap it up by saying that we look forward to the rest of this project and for seeing how you're going to do on this online forum. Woo! Oh my God, that was